regularly in temples in Japan until 200 years after Shinran's death. Renyo was the author of the Letter on White Ashes. He was author of many, many letters in his lifetime. He produced the Shoshinge in block print for his members to chant, along with 6 verses or wasan from the hymns of the Pure Land. And that's what we have printed in our books. So Shinran wrote over 50 wasan comprising the hymns of the Pure Land. So here we are in 2013, over 785 years have passed, and we are carrying on this key spiritual practice. How deep our roots grow. The first wasan on page 31 of your books begins with the Nembutsu, or a melodic chanting of Amida Buddha's name, chanted 5 times, leading into the wasan or poem, translated as, since Amida attained Buddhahood, 10 kalpas have elapsed. Kalpas is like an immeasurable amount of time. The Dharma body's real light is boundless, illuminating the darkness of the world. The Dharma body is referred to by many names. It is especially used as a synonym for nirvana. According to the Lotus Sutra, the Dharma body appears in any form that can reach into our hearts so that we can hear the Dharma and respond to it. The Dharma body breaks through human suffering in order to alleviate it, taking a form that can reach through pain and darkness. In the Pure Land tradition, Shakyamuni is counted as one of the innumerable Buddhas of the universe who encourage all beings to take refuge in Amida Buddha. However, it is Amida Buddha in the form of his name, Namu Amida Butsu, who is the living teacher in our tradition. As Dharma body of compassionate means, he is accessible to ordinary beings as Dharma body of Dharma nature. He is ultimate reality. When used to define Amida Buddha, the term light is wisdom and compassion. Physical light cannot be encompassed by the mind. Either, and its significance lies not so much in the fact of its presence, but in its function, to make things visible. It is only because of the existence of light that things can be seen. We do not see the light, but the things that it illuminates. The effect of light is illumination. It is meaningless if it does not enable things to be seen. Amida Buddha is inconceivable light and identified with it. In other words, he is the wisdom compassion which characterizes the Dharma body and exposes reality as it is. Keep this in mind as the Nembutsu singers and anyone else in the Sangha who would like to or is familiar with wasans to chant the first wasan, beginning on page 31.
Namu Amida
third Wasan, which begins with a more lilting chanting of Amida Buddha's name, repeated 8 times before the song, which translates as "The wheel light of emancipation is boundless. All those illuminated by the light are freed from the bind of existence and non-existence. Take homage in the enlightenment of oneness with Amida." From Shinran Shonin's point of view, light is one of the most prominent adjectives qualifying Amida Buddha. As a form of Nembutsu, it has value for a number of reasons. The first is that after a brief time getting to understand the words, it is both spiritually and intellectually satisfying, and in itself provides a meditation on the key features of Amida Buddha's reality. It reminds us of the specific significance of the term Amida as unhindered light, and helps us to grow in awareness that, unhindered, Amida Buddha's wisdom penetrates to the core of our being. The liberating wheel of light expresses the eradicating of karmic evil and blind passions by Amida's light. The light offers us ultimate freedom or emancipation from being caught in the web of wrong views. To enter the Pure Land, you must take refuge in Amida, becoming one with Amida's enlightenment. It reminds us that the Nembutsu itself is not a mere ritual, but a fixed object that has emotional, intellectual, and spiritual content. The unhindered light, which is the light of purity, joy, and wisdom, is an antidote to the 3 evils of greed, anger, and ignorance. So let's think about Amida's unhindered light and taking refuge in it as we now chant the third Wasan on page 35. The fifth Wasan reaches an emotional climax with a more forte chanting of Amida Buddha's name 8 more times, and then takes us to the 5th poem translated as, pure light is not comparable. Illuminated by this light, all karmic bonds are removed. Take refuge in this ultimate sanctuary. As we experience it, light is ineffable because we cannot see it. It is impossible to comprehend. We only see the objects that obstruct the light. The light enables us to see the things that get in its way. When we look at the stars in the sky, it is true that they do seem to be points of light. In that sense, we see these lights because their light originates at points that are so far away. Amida, the Buddha of light, is not such a light. Amida Buddha is light that does not travel, because he is light that bathes everything that exists everywhere, throughout the entire universe and beyond. Nor is it darkened by anything, nor is it outshone by anything. This is the light that is Dharma. It is Prajna, wisdom that fills all things. Shinran's Dharma is sometimes spoken of as Buddhism of compassion, but it is more awe-inspiring than this warm and gentle radiance. Its source is majestic light. It is light that causes us to acknowledge its marvelous brilliance, which leaves us speechless in wonder and joy. Shinran Buddha's Dharma is this pure wisdom, ineffable light that is unquenchable, unstoppable, embracing every single being who accepts its bidding. Amida's light of purity, wisdom, and compassion can free us up if we let it into our hearts and minds. Trust it, feel it. Then our karmic bonds that we have been carrying with us melt and fall away as we take sincere refuge in Amida's embrace. Open your hearts to Amida's light that is within all of us as we chant the fifth Wasan on page 40.
Nam
The Eiko follows the Wasan as a transference of merit in the culmination of all of the heartfelt gratitude we have expressed for Amida Buddha. Directing a virtue, Amida's great vow is given equally to all, and creating Bodhi mind to attain the pure realm. The Eiko has two aspects of directing virtue: the aspect of going and the aspect of returning. Going to the Pure Land and returning back to this world again in order to save people who continue to wander in delusion is a true act of tariki, or other power. Relying on Amida's vow power means that we actively take part in the great circular current of life without holding on to our egos. Shinjin, or true and trusting in other power, completely with a Bodhi mind, will take you to the Pure Land. Please close your eyes and breathe deeply as we chant the Eiko. If you want to chant, you may have to have your eyes open. Our last chant this morning is called the Amida Kyo and is specifically dedicated to Dr. Matsunaga's memorial. Unfortunately, we only have time to chant 3 pages out of the 30 pages of this chant today. But an in-depth study of the Amida Kyo would make several fascinating future Dharma talks. The importance of the Amida Kyo is the teaching of oneness of all lives that are bound together in infinite life and light. It explains that life is temporary and constantly changing, which causes much suffering because our thoughts are living in a reality of ignorance and illusion. But when we become aware of Amida's light of compassion and wisdom and accept it as unconditional salvation, our minds are at once illumined and darkness is transformed into brightness and splendor. The Amida Kyo is chanted at the time of death, so that when life comes to an end, the aspirant's mind will not fall into confusion, so he will be born in the land of utmost bliss of Amida Buddha. The Amida Kyo comes from the smaller Amitabha Sutra and was delivered by Shakyamuni Buddha's devoted disciple, Ananda. Ananda first sets the scene that the Buddha was staying in Shavasti, a countryside park called Jetta Park, with over 1,250 very special people in attendance. Many of them were important bhikshus and well-known arhats. Shariputra the elder and a long list of great disciples, all bodhisattvas, even Chakra the king of gods, and a vast number of heavenly beings made up this great assembly. Says Ananda, the Buddha then said to Shariputra, "Westward from here and beyond 10 billion Buddha lands, there is a world called utmost happiness. In that land, there is a Buddha called Amida, who is right now preaching the Dharma." Ananda goes on to describe to Shariputra this land of utmost happiness as having many pools of gems, with stairways of gold, silver, lapis, and crystal, storied pavilions of the same adornments, celestial music playing, mandavara flowers raining down 6 times day and night, rare birds singing harmonious tones, proclaiming the 5 spiritual bases. So when beings of that land hear those sounds, all think on the Buddha the Dharma, and the Sangha. All of the rare birds are Amida itself, transformed for the purpose of carrying far and wide the sound of the Dharma. I wish I could share more with you of the translation of the Amida Kyo, because it is so rich and amazing. But you have an image of the setting in your mind, and keep this in mind as we now chant the Amida Kyo. And just the Nenbutsu singers will chant this because it's not in the books. But just for listening's sake, listen for Shari Ho when we chant it. That's Shariputra's name. Take with you today the theme of Amida's incomparable light, life, wisdom, and compassion. That is the prominent message of all the Wasans, Eiko, and Amida Kyo chants we shared with you. Shinran's words and melodies create an intentionally strong message. He says in another Wasan, the light is more luminous than the heavenly bodies. Thus Amida is called light that surpasses the sun and the moon. Even Shakyamuni's praise cannot exhaust his virtues, so take refuge in the one without equal. The goal of traditional Pure Land practice before Shinran's time was to attain birth in the Pure Land after death. Shinran taught that it is to be realized here and now, when the mind and heart of Amida enters and takes over your life. Thank you, everyone. I have some announcements. Now we have church song. I am just jumping ahead all over the place today.